Cancel.
Schweezy.
Also, I logged into my Discovery Plus account. Discovery Plus, that has a lot of TLC shows. That stands for the Learning Channel, like Strange Sex, Extreme Cheapskates, and the etc. In regards to that, they had a kind of a documentary series, a 3-episode documentary series, and I believe it was original to them, called House of Hammer. So, House of Hammer, as you know. If y'all remember, it was like a year, maybe a year and a half back. It was like 2020, 2021. Remember that goofball, Armie Hammer? I remember, you know, I remember, like, so I've seen The Social Network. I didn't see that other film he was in with Timothy Chalamet or whatever. But I remember he was like the Winklevoss twins. And I watched that movie, and I'm like, yeah, that's an okay movie. But I didn't regard for it. I'm like, I love that guy. So maybe I should watch that movie again, give it another chance. But apparently Armie Hammer played the Winklevoss twins. I don't know if he played both of them, but like I was told he played the Winklevoss twins. So that's like literally the only thing I remember that he's been in and shit like that. But I remember a while back being like 2020, late 2020, 2021, like a lot of his DMs got leaked that like he was like a cannibal. But how the DMs were leaked though, it seemed like there was a conversation going on, and the second party, which I mean the party that's not Armie Hammer, was able to delete their messages or edit it out of like the screenshot of it, and basically it was just Armie Hammer side. I'm like, well, if there's a second side to this, you know, I feel like, you know, because this could have been consensual or someone trying to get shit on him or whatever. But anyways, though, so that happened, and then later we heard some sexual assault shit go on with him. We're like, well, I guess that's pretty rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
Because he's just kept being a goofball. So don't be a goofball like Armie Hammer and sexually assault women. So then they created then Discovery Plus, you know, the great people behind Extreme Cheapskates, where people just decide to poop in buckets to save on their water bill. Brought us House of Hammer. Overall, it was a really good documentary, but it was also one of those, like, I actually did hesitate to even want to, like, discuss this on the show, because, like, women getting assaulted, I'm like, people getting assaulted is not cool. Serial killers are cool. I mean, not in that way, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to talk about them. But I'm like, I don't want to talk about these women, like, getting abused by a fucking guy, and the whole legacy of women getting abused by guys. But then I decided that I didn't have anything else to talk about this episode, so we're going to go through with it. Basically, with the thing with Armie Hammer, our buddy Armie Hammer, is that he was very good at manipulating women, and then he would continue to manipulate them and make them feel vulnerable and shit like that. And then when it was time for sex, he would like to do BDSM on them.
What?
What does BDSM stand for? In this case, BDSM does not stand for Bible Discussion Study Meeting. Sometimes BDSM stands for Bible Discussion Study Meeting, but not this time. This is the one time BDSM does not stand for Bible Discussion Study Meeting, okay? Just okay? This was the bondage. I actually don't know what BDSM actually stands for, to be honest with you. I know it's like sex where you hurt each other, but like typically when you do BDSM, there's a dominant and a subordinate, or we just call them doms and sub. And those are not short for Domino's and Subway, as I've been mistaken in the past. But so you have a dom and a sub, and typically if someone wants to be a sub, they're enjoying getting the shit beating out of them during sex. That's kind of their thing. That's what they like, and usually that's how things are set up in situations like that. The way Armie Hammer would do it would be that women who were 100% not into BDSM, and he would just force them to do that shit. He'd tie them up, even though they didn't really want to, but I guess they just kind of gave in. And I'm not saying, you know, there's a conversation there. But, and then they would do that, and they're like, this is emotionally scarring right now from what's going on. Because here's the thing, though. Like, I know there's people into BDSM, you know, and you find that consensual partner who's down for that shit, you know. and you could have a really good time. You're going to have a lot of fun in life. However, if you're not someone who's into BDSM and you're forced to be a sub during a BDSM sex thing, you are going to be scarred for fucking life. And I'm laughing, but it's pretty bad. Like, you know, like, if you're into BDSM and you like it, you know, like, that's the thing, though, when you're a sub, like, you kind of signed up for it, you like it, you're into it, you're going to let them do it to you. But, like, when you're just, like, a normal person, I know I'm a psycho, and I fucking laugh at fucking children hurting themselves, but you're probably not a psycho. Most people are not psychos and not into, like, being tied up and whipped and have scars all over them for sex. Most people don't like that. But then when that's forced upon you, it's pretty fucking rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
It's pretty rough, and it's pretty scarring. You know, like, just mentally, you're not ready for that. I'm just saying, though, I think if, like, here's the thing, like, if I was with a woman and the discussion came up, hey, I want to tie you down and do shit to you, I'm like, let's go on a couple more dates. I just want to get a feel for you first, and then if she seems cool, I'm like, all right, this is because you like it, and maybe I'll like it too, you know, whatever, you know, stuff like that. However, if it's like, I want to tie you up and bite you, and you're like, I feel really uncomfortable, I would really prefer you to not do that, that would really scare me. And then you do it anyways, it's pretty fucking traumatizing. So, BDSM, when not the Bible discussion study meeting stuff, when you're not expecting BDSM, it's pretty fucking traumatizing. So, yeah, that's basically what was going on with our buddy Armie Hammer. So, let's go into his family tree. Someone was like, you know, his whole fucking family tree, and it's only the men on the side, somehow not the women. Only the men are psychopaths, because it was a man's world for, like, you know, maybe women should be involved in life, you know. Apparently that's how we decided things should be, you know. But anyways, though, so let's go through the family tree as I watched in this show. Let's go to Julius Hammer. That was Armie's. So I'm basically going to associate everyone with their associated relation to Armie Hammer, the Armie Hammer my age, or a couple years older than me, probably. The one who likes to have BDSM sex with women who don't want to have BDSM sex. Which, you know, is a problem in itself when you just want to hurt women and make them feel... And it's kind of like a rape kink. And, like, rape kinks... A lot of men have struggled... And I can't say I'm not one of them. We've stumbled across that rape porn scene, you know? That one... There's always just one that just pops up on our feeds, you know? Our Pornhub feeds. You watch it and you're like, I feel bad, dude. If you're a normal guy... Or at least if you're at least as normal as I am, then rape porn makes you feel bad, and then if it doesn't, then you're worse than me. That's how we're living this life. Anyway, let's go in the family tree. Julius Hammer. This is Armie's great grandfather. This is pretty far back. So he was a Russian spy. He was Russian spy, meaning Soviet Union era, communism era. Basically, this dude created his fortune. He was funneling U.S. secrets into the Soviet Union, like some pretty big ones. So, secrets that we probably don't know today. Like, dude, like there's so much stuff in like U.S. government. You're like, there's some secrets like I just don't know about. And like, this dude got it and was sending it to the Soviet Union, a country that was like, you know, if we have to, we'll send some nuclear bombs over to the United States, you know? Let's just fucking ruin the entire planet with nuclear weapons and stuff like that. And so that's the kind of guy he was. He named his son Armand Hammer. That's who Armie was named after, Armand Hammer. Armond, because he wanted his name to sound like arm and hammer, like communism, you know? So that's initially how they started their wealth, because they were funneling secrets into the Soviet Union. They got money that way. Get rich. That's where it all started. That's where the chaos in this family all started. Then we got Armand Hammer, his son, who was named after arm and hammer, like communism. He was probably the biggest buffoon, one of the biggest buffoons out of this bunch. You know, he's a buffoon, as I would say. So he owned, was it Occidental Petroleum? That was like just basically oil and shit like that. And that's basically how the Hammer Empire became like an empire. Like, you know, started with communism and funneling secrets into Russia and the Soviet Union, but then it was like they owned some oil, and then, like, goddamn, they became rich. And this dude was like, I want to have blackmail on everyone. I want everyone to be my fucking bitch. And so, like, he recorded all his conversations in case, like, something came up and, like, he could just bring that up and be like, see, bitch, remember you told me you like to wear fucking women's lingerie? Like, you fucking bitch, I'm gonna tell everyone this shit. We got it on recording. He's just a fucking, he's like, do you want to be president? I'm like, the president doesn't have as much power as I do. I'll pass on that. And that's fucking saying something. Donald Trump, maybe you're not as rich as we think you are, you know? He also paid for his family's buffoonery, and which we're going to get into, mainly with Julian Hammer, I believe his first son, and who also Armin really didn't like, because I guess he was, his mom, Olga, from Russia, was his mom, and he's like, I don't want to be, because, like, you know, his army, our army, you know, our army, he really wanted to just, like, he didn't want to associate with his family when he went into acting. I mean, which is kind of a smart move because, like, one, rich family, becoming an actor from a rich family, he kind of wanted to prove his acting skills on his own. You know, if we want to look back on his acting skills, like, we could say, like, he did earn that shit without, like, his, because this documentary didn't really go over how, like, he got his, like, acting roles from money. He got it from his own work and stuff like that. That's one thing, and also, like, they don't want to learn how fucking crazy his family is, too, because he's probably like, yeah, my family's crazy. I only want to beat the shit out of women when I have sex with them. We're different. We're different people. So, yeah, and so, like, Armin didn't really like Julian, his son, because he has a Russian mom, and he didn't want to associate with Russia or the Soviet Union at all. So he ended up getting severe daddy issues, meaning he's done a lot of drugs and alcohol, sleeping with some underage women, really into his shotgun too. Like, his daughter wrote a book about everything, which is now how everyone's finding out, because she wrote it, like, released in 2015, and no one gave a shit, and now everyone gives a shit about it. You know, sometimes you release something and someday someone will give a shit, you know? That's how life works. Okay?
What?
And then so, yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit my dad. And you have, like, underage women there, cocaine, every drug imaginable. And then one time, Julian Hammer shot a guy for a $400 gambling bet. You know, if I was rich, I probably wouldn't give a shit about this, but gambling debt from a dude who probably doesn't work. Like, this is like a family, though. Like, I don't think any of these people work and shit like that. That's just the fucking life they live. Then we get down, so Julian Hammer, that's grandfather of Armie Hammer. Now we're down to Michael Hammer, who's probably, out of all of them, he's the most tame, but he's still a knucklehead, you know? Like, he's not a buffoon or a doofus, but he's a knucklehead. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer. Basically, like, the majority of what people say about him, he's like, yeah, when he was in college, he was like that rich kid, frat boy, asshole, you know, and that's how, you know, people thought about him. They also made a mention, like, he had a sex throne, and then, like, someone else would like to say this. The sex throne was a joke. Do not bring that as, like, a thing he wanted. So that was funny. But anyways, Michael changed his will that, like, he was in charge of everything when Armin died, the great-grandfather of Armie and stuff like that, so he got a lot of it, and then Michael and his sister and Julian and shit like that didn't get a lot. So it was, like, changed, like, maybe a month or 40 days. I think it was 40 days, but maybe, like, a month or a little bit longer than that. Like, it wasn't that long before getting that he changed that shit. So, a real knucklehead, I'll tell you what. You know, this family, I'll say, full of doofuses. This family's full of knuckleheads. Full of buffoons. Did I already say buffoons? I cannot remember if I said buffoons. Yeah. But anyways, though, lesson learned. Old money still has power, and I don't know what to do about it. But also, if you want to do BDSM, and you can't date normal women, that's for sure. Gonna have to find the weirdest women. And if you look as good as Armie Hammer, though, like, he's a good-looking guy, you're gonna have to find some special unicorn out there that you can tie up, beat the shit out of, and fuck, degrade. You can't just be finding normies out there, Armie. You can't be doing that with normies. You gotta find that you gotta find a crazy bitch. And I can't imagine it's that hard to find a crazy bitch like that out there, buddy. I I don't know what's going on with you.
That's rough, buddy.
Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.